Coinbase stock. Is it still worth buying in 2026?
We'll answer this question completely in this video step by step, so watch the video till the end. 1. What if I told you that one company could benefit whether Bitcoin reaches new highs?
Or whether millions of people simply continue using cryptocurrency every single day? Most investors think Coinbase is just a place to buy Bitcoin. That is only part of the story. Today, Coinbase has become one of the biggest cryptocurrency companies in North America.
It serves millions of users, it works with institutions.
It is expanding internationally, and it continues building new products far beyond simple crypto trading.
Some investors believe Coinbase could become one of the biggest financial technology companies of the next decade. Others believe the crypto industry is simply too risky. So, who's right? And more importantly, is Coinbase stock still worth buying in 2026?
Stay until the end because one overlooked part of Coinbase's business could become much bigger than cryptocurrency trading itself.
Most investors rarely talk about it, yet it could completely change how Wall Street values this company. 2. Why Coinbase is different. Whenever people hear the word cryptocurrency, most immediately think about Bitcoin. Some think about Ethereum. Others think about huge price swings. But behind every cryptocurrency transaction,
someone has to provide the platform. That is exactly where Coinbase comes in. Coinbase allows people to buy, sell, store,
transfer, and manage digital assets for millions of customers. Coinbase has become the front door to the crypto economy. That makes the company different from owning Bitcoin directly. If Bitcoin rises, trading activity often increases. If new investors enter crypto, many of them need an exchange.
That is why Coinbase has attracted so much attention from investors.
But here's something many people don't realize. Coinbase is no longer trying to be only a crypto exchange. It wants to become something much bigger. 3. More than a crypto exchange. Think about traditional finance. Banks offer savings, payments, transfers, investments, loans, financial services. Coinbase is slowly building a similar ecosystem for digital assets. The company now offers secure wallets, institutional services, staking, subscription products, developer tools, payment solutions, and blockchain infrastructure. Every new service creates another possible source of revenue. That is important, because depending only on trading fees would make the business much less stable. Management understands this. That is why Coinbase continues expanding into new areas. This strategy could become one of the biggest drivers of future growth. But there is another opportunity that could be even larger. 4. The institutional opportunity. Years ago, most cryptocurrency investors were individuals. Today, large financial institutions are entering the market. Investment firms, asset managers, banks, hedge funds, public companies. Many of them require secure custody for digital assets.
Reliable trading platforms, professional infrastructure.
This is where Coinbase has built an important position. Institutions usually trade much larger amounts than individual investors. Winning institutional clients could provide steady long-term growth.
And institutional adoption is still developing. Many experts believe it is only beginning.
If more traditional financial companies continue entering crypto, Coinbase could benefit from that trend. But crypto is changing in another important way.
And this next opportunity could surprise many investors. 5. Stablecoins could change everything. When most people hear cryptocurrency,
they immediately think about volatility, Bitcoin, Ethereum, huge price swings. But stablecoins are different. They're designed to maintain a stable value. Businesses are beginning to explore them for payments, international transfers, online commerce, financial services. If stablecoins become more widely adopted, companies like Coinbase could play an important role. Imagine sending money across the world within seconds, without waiting days, without expensive international transfer fees. That possibility has attracted enormous attention. And Coinbase continues investing in infrastructure that supports this growing ecosystem. This isn't just about trading anymore, it's about building financial services for the digital economy. But before anyone becomes too excited, there is something every investor must understand. Crypto remains one of the most unpredictable industries in the world. And that's exactly what we'll examine next. 6. How Coinbase actually makes money. Now let's answer a very important question. How does Coinbase actually make money? Many people think the answer is simple. People buy crypto. Coinbase earns a fee. That is true, but today, the business is much larger than that. The first source of revenue comes from transaction fees. Whenever customers buy or sell digital assets, Coinbase may earn a fee depending on the product they use. During periods of high market activity, trading volume often increases.
That can significantly boost revenue. But management knows something important. Trading activity can slow down. Crypto markets move in cycles. That is why Coinbase has worked hard to build recurring revenue. The company now earns income from subscriptions and services. These include staking, custody, interest on certain products, developer tools, and other financial services. This makes the business more diversified than many investors realize.
That is something Wall Street pays close attention to.
7. Why Bitcoin still matters. Even though Coinbase is expanding, Bitcoin still plays a huge role. Historically, when Bitcoin gains momentum, interest in cryptocurrency often increases.
More people open accounts. Existing investors become more active. Trading volume usually rises. That can benefit Coinbase. But here's something interesting. Coinbase does not necessarily need Bitcoin to reach new all-time highs every year. It simply needs people and institutions to keep participating in the digital asset economy.
If crypto adoption continues growing over the next decade, Coinbase could continue growing alongside it. That is an important difference many investors overlook. 8. Competition is becoming stronger. No company grows without competition. Coinbase faces several major competitors. Some exchanges compete on lower fees. Others focus on international markets. Some specialize in advanced trading. New platforms continue entering the industry every year. Competition could pressure profit margins. It could also force companies to spend more on innovation, customer service, security, and new products. That means Coinbase cannot stand still. It must continue improving its platform, launching new services, and attracting both retail and institutional customers. Fortunately, the company has already built one important advantage, and it's trust. 9. Trust can become a competitive advantage. Money is personal. People want their investments protected. Institutions demand strong security, reliable systems, and regulatory compliance. Over the years, Coinbase has invested heavily in security, compliance, infrastructure, and transparency. For many investors, especially beginners, that reputation matters. Large institutions also value trusted partners. As digital assets become more widely accepted, trust could become one of Coinbase's strongest competitive advantages. But there is another factor investors cannot ignore: government regulation. And this could shape Coinbase's future more than almost anything else.
10. The regulation question. Governments around the world continue developing rules for digital assets.
Sometimes new regulations create uncertainty. Markets become nervous. Stock prices move sharply. But clear regulations can also create opportunities. If governments establish clearer frameworks, more traditional financial institutions may feel comfortable entering the crypto market. That could increase demand for regulated exchanges with established infrastructure. Coinbase has consistently positioned itself as a company willing to operate within regulatory frameworks. Exactly how regulations evolve remains uncertain. But investors should continue monitoring this area carefully. Because regulation could become one of the biggest drivers or one of the biggest challenges for Coinbase during the next decade.
And now comes the question every investor wants answered. Is Coinbase stock actually worth buying in 2026? We'll answer that completely in next part.
11. The bull case for Coinbase. Let's start with the optimistic view.
Why do some investors believe Coinbase could become one of the biggest financial technology companies of the next decade? First, cryptocurrency adoption continues expanding. Millions of new users enter the market every year. Businesses continue exploring blockchain technology. Financial institutions are increasing their involvement.
If this trend continues, Coinbase could benefit from a much larger customer base.
Second, the company is becoming more diversified.
It no longer depends only on trading fees, subscription revenue,
Institutional services, staking, developer tools.
blockchain infrastructure. These businesses could provide more stable long-term income. Third, Coinbase has built one of the strongest brands in the crypto industry. Many beginners trust the platform. Many institutions already use its services. Building that level of trust takes years, and it can become a significant competitive advantage. Finally, if digital assets become a permanent part of the global financial system, Coinbase could be one of the companies helping build that future. That is why many long-term investors remain optimistic. 12. The bear case. Now let's examine the other side. No investment is perfect, and Coinbase certainly has risks. The biggest one: crypto market volatility. When cryptocurrency prices fall sharply, trading activity often slows. That can reduce revenue. Another challenge is competition. New exchanges continue entering the market.
Some compete by charging lower fees. Others offer new features. Coinbase must continue innovating. Otherwise, customers could move elsewhere. Cybersecurity is another important risk, although Coinbase has invested heavily in security. Every financial platform remains a potential target for cyber attacks. Finally, regulatory uncertainty remains a major factor. Future government policies could affect how crypto businesses operate.
Smart investors always consider both the opportunities
and the risks. 13. Should beginners buy Coinbase? If you're new to investing, never buy a stock because someone on the internet says it will double.
Instead, ask yourself 3 simple questions. Do I understand this business?
Do I believe cryptocurrency adoption will continue growing over the next 10 years? Can I remain calm during periods of high volatility? If your answer is yes, Coinbase may deserve further research. If your answer is no, you may want to learn more before investing. Many experienced investors build diversified portfolios. They combine ETFs, blue-chip companies, and selected growth stocks.
This approach helps reduce risk while still providing exposure to innovative businesses. 14. Final verdict. So, is Coinbase stock still worth buying in 2026? Coinbase sits at the center of one of the fastest changing industries in the world. Digital assets, blockchain, stablecoins, institutional crypto adoption, and financial technology. If these industries continue expanding,
Coinbase could remain an important player for many years.
But investors should also remember, this is still a growth company.
Growth companies often experience large price swings. Patience becomes extremely important. The most successful long-term investors usually focus on business quality, competitive advantages, financial strength, and long-term industry trends. Not daily headlines, not social media hype, and certainly not fear. No one knows exactly where Coinbase stock will trade next month, or even next year, but investors who study businesses carefully, understand the risks, remain diversified, and think long-term, often make better decisions than those who simply chase excitement. If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe to Wall Street Pulse. Every week we explore the biggest investment opportunities shaping the future. Artificial intelligence, technology, crypto, dividend stocks, growth stocks, and the companies changing the world. Before you make your next investment decision, remember this.
The biggest winners aren't always the most popular stocks. Sometimes the best opportunities are hiding in plain sight. On this channel, we uncover companies, ETFs, and market trends that could shape the next decade. If you want smarter investing ideas backed by research instead of hype, make sure you're subscribed. Because the next stock we cover could be one that's still flying under Wall Street's radar. We'll see you in the next video.